Xernona Clayton moved to Atlanta in 1965 to work at the Southern Christian Leadership Conference with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. She had already successfully worked on civil rights issues in Chicago and Los Angeles. In 1966, she organized the Doctors' Committee for Implementation, which desegregated Atlanta's hospitals. In 1968, Xernona broke through the color barrier on television, becoming the first African-American woman to have a primetime program in the South on WAGA-TV.
Back in the 1960s, there were very few African-Americans involved publicly in the life of the city at any level, whether it was television or any other communication media. But Xernona broke the code, figured it out, and she really covered the waterfront in all communication.
It was a public affairs program. She invited people in not because of their celebrity or their controversial nature, but because they could offer something. Although she did have her share of celebrities and big names, she was somehow able to get them into that studio for her show. But she covered the gamut. I mean, you never knew really what to expect, except for one thing. You knew that Xernona would be there and would be putting her spin on it and asking great questions and getting terrific answers.
I think Xernona has the gift of charm and gab, and so she makes everybody feel comfortable. And she can make you talk. She can ask probing questions, but she also is compassionate, and so she feels what other people can feel. And so she's very kind and generous in that way. And so she elicits your participation with her.
The most newsworthy episode of the Themes and Variations program was the appearance of a feared white supremacist.
I remember Xernona Clayton taking on a lot of adversaries, not the least of which was the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, but she had no fear.
Calvin Craig, who was a very recognizable Klan leader in Atlanta, a racist, outspokenly so, changed his complete outlook, largely because of his connection to Xernona Clayton, talking to Xernona, getting to know Xernona, suddenly realizing that, wait a minute, the way I've been thinking about race is all wrong, to such an extent that he resigned from the Klan. And he did it on Xernona's television show. Big national news. I remember it distinctly. I remember Calvin Craig taking off his robes and folding them up and shoving them into the trash.
I think it goes back to her sensitivity, her smarts, and her charm. And when people saw her and see her in action, you know, it does change your opinion about what you think people can do, especially if you're predisposed to think that black people aren't very worthy. But when you see her in action, you realize that just the opposite is true.
The talk show was eventually syndicated and broadcast on other TV stations. She then went on to Turner Broadcasting and produced many documentaries, winning an Emmy in 1987. She also produced Moments in History, 60-second accounts of famous figures in black history.
Xernona is all over her video work. I mean, her personality, again, is big. It's larger than life. I mean, she is an icon, both in broadcasting and in the civic and civil rights community.
Before retiring from Turner Broadcasting, she began the Trumpet Awards to celebrate people who contribute to the cause of justice and equality for all.
It's Xernona, with a little assist from Ted Turner. But Xernona was the one who carried that torch and made it the program and the award ceremony it is today.
She went down one path as a civil rights person and realized that she could have a much larger impact through the media. And so she has demonstrated how positive influences can be done through telling stories in video and in broadcasting. And so I think she'll be remembered for that.